All right, all right, all right. I guess I need tech support over here. Looks like all right. Like my people showing up. Let's see here. There's what is that? Steph Nisi. I see you, Mr. Leon. There's Miss Lauren. So you guys gonna request to join the live? I haven't seen that yet. I'll send you guys a link directly. Yeah, for those of you that have joined us, please bear with me. I am socially media challenged, so I'm trying to get this figured out. Let's see. There we go. All right, Miss Lauren, that's coming directly to your email address. Maybe we can get started here. So I just fired that email off to you. No, you're not on mute. Yes, you are. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. You're on mute. See. Miss Lauren, you should have that in email by now. If you don't, please let me know. Hey, Miss Erin. Miss Erin has joined us. So did you good people get that link? Just take the link and drop it into a browser. Hey, Miss Erin. We need tech support, Miss Erin. We are technically challenged at the moment. trying to make sure I get my people. Uh-oh. Looks like Lauren and Ryan have to change devices. Uh, yeah, I thought so, Miss Aaron, but they said they couldn't see it or didn't know where to find it. But it's possible I don't. Like I said, we are technically challenged. See if I can. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we're still trying to get kicked off here with some technical difficulties. I guess we probably should have had a dry run for all of this, but I was otherwise occupied this week in Houston, Texas with my mom. All right, Miss Aaron. There are my people.
Hello. Can you
Well,
hear us?
hello. How are you?
Good, good. How are you? We had to get our computer to get into this new live platform here.
Yeah, so I was confessing that we had not done a dry run, and that was my fault. I was otherwise occupied this week. I had to make an emergency trip down to Texas,
Yes.
but I'm glad you good people are here. I'm grateful. Looks like if it wasn't for you guys, I'd be on here by myself. I don't have anybody in my community. Well, I can tell you why. There was no announcement that went out. So when it all got configured, there was no announcement that went out. So I'm not sure if they happen to be online, they might see it. If not, they won't. It'll be recorded. But at the end of the day, I do not want to miss the opportunity to hear about Japan. Now, for that, no, seriously. I mean, I saw some of the pictures. It looked fabulous. Tell me about Japan. How long were you there?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks. Nice. I saw the cherry blossoms. So you picked the right time of year.
We did. Yeah, we got there just the week before they started blooming, and towards the end of our trip, they were almost practically in full bloom everywhere.
Oh, wow. Very nice. What made you pick Japan?
I've always wanted to go there.
It was top on her list. So
Okay.
So the funny thing about just how that worked out is that the trip was planned before the engagement went
Okay.
through. So
Yes, yeah.
All right.
We booked the tickets like last summer. We got engaged in the fall. And then when we were trying to figure out the wedding date, then we said, well, we might as well just make that the honeymoon. Just put it over there. So
I like it. Now listen, so you know me, I'm gonna ask why, Miss Lauren. It was at the top of your list. Was it a movie you saw? Was it what?
Yes, I am a big anime fan, and
Okay. All right.
yes, and I got inspired by all of the culture and the food. So
okay, all right. Well, it makes sense. Listen, I jumped right in. That's because I know the both of you fairly well in my estimation, as well as somebody who's halfway across the country. All the way across the country. Can I suppose? So what I want to start with first, though, is I want you to state your name, each of you, and what it is you do for a living, and then we'll go from there.
Sounds good. Yes.
Okay, so my name is Ryan Leon. I'm from LA. I'm a project manager at a software company. What was the other thing?
We're multitasking. People are asking, "Where's the live?" Because they don't see it. So
okay. Well, you guys, you can share it out on your platform, right?
Yes. It's since we're on my computer, people aren't seeing that we're actually physically live. So let's see if we can get it changed. Let's see. All right, just so that those that are here, how do we add to stories or something?
Yeah, I feel like it looks like we can only add it to send it to people directly.
Yeah.
But
we've got these devices here. Let's see if we can share it.
A whole login situation.
It's a login situation. No, it's okay. We'll just hope that people can see it.
All righty then. I guess that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
So listen, we need to hear from you, sir.
Yes, you said name. Yeah, name, occupation. Yeah. What else?
yeah. Name and occupation is fine just to start. I know. I just wanted to get us back to that. We took a break.
Okay. Well, the streets know me as Ryan.
There we go.
As well as my wife.
All right, we're gonna move on. Miss Lauren.
Yes. So you wanted to know my name, my occupation, and my social security, and all the other things.
No, I didn't ask for that.
Okay, so I'm Lauren, and actually my name is Lauren Leon. I changed my last name, and I'm native Los Angeles and grew up here. My occupation, I'm kind of what I like to call now a Swiss Army knife. I do multiple things, and one of those things is I do animation production, and I have a children's entertainment brand called Tickleberry Place, where we create content to inspire children in their health and wellness and their social emotional intelligence. And then I also have background in user experience design. So I've designed many platforms, from mobile apps to websites to digital software programs for various different companies over the last 12 plus years. So that is me.
Okay. All right. So if anyone's interested in any one of those amazing gifts and abilities you have, how would they find you?
They can find me on my Instagram page, Lamsey Love, and they can comment or message me, and I'm happy to respond, and we can set up a conversation about, working together.
Very nice. Very nicely done. So listen, my daughter's not here. She's the one who set this up, and so I feel kind of awkward because I didn't know I was supposed to be doing the interview, but that's fine. I'm happy to do it. So we did ask for some questions, and we've been leading it up to this for about a week or so. We did ask for some questions from the general public. I don't know if we can capture questions here or everywhere. We might be able to capture them, but if you do have questions and you want to drop them in the comments, please do. I am absolutely monitoring Faithfulness Instagram page. Unfortunately, I don't know if all my other comments show up here from YouTube and Facebook, but we'll get moving. All right, so these questions is broken into two sections, the personal section and the coaching section. Now, all of this is about the fact that you guys are newlyweds. Can you tell me more about why you thought this was a good idea? What is it you hope to accomplish by answering questions from the general public?
Well, I think everybody goes, of course, through their own journey. And it's important that you get exposure and you can see what you want to accomplish, maybe for your own life, or get some wisdom from the old heads, the old generation. So, I mean, for me, I think that seeing what somebody else's journey has been can influence your own. And then, Coach Bo, we both know you have a lot of knowledge to give, man. A lot of nuggets to drop. So we want
these questions for you, sir. These questions are for you. I'm not answering questions. These questions
it's a conversation. It's a conversation.
Oh no. These are for you. So listen, that was a lot of words. I think what I heard you say was that you want to do this live because you are hoping to be a model for other couples also considering the journey.
Yes.
Did I surmise? Okay. All right.
But not only that, but if I can jump in,
please.
But to basically the journey, but also to talk about the importance of how coaching was really really key to the success of our takeoff or our marriage. And so I think that's one of the things that we'd like to inspire and communicate to those that are watching. Okay.
All right. Well, listen, I have a list of questions. You had a chance to review the questions, did you not?
We did.
Yes.
All right. So is there anywhere you'd like to start with the questions, or should I just?
We'll follow your lead.
Okay. Excellent. All right. So let me see. Can you share a bit about your journey as a couple from when you first started dating to being married now? And if you want to go back before you started dating, because I know there's some interesting elements there as well, welcome to go back as far as you like.
Good thing we got time.
Well, I guess I could kick it off because I got tired of online dating and meeting people who weren't what I expected, in other words, or at least relationships not working through, because I'm like, oh man, he doesn't have it together as he thought he said, or as I thought he did. And so after that, I said, you know what? My twin sister was like, you should try matchmaking. That was her She said that a couple times. And so I finally signed up, and I actually enjoyed the journey of matchmaking. I signed up for 2 different companies and experienced their different ways of doing it. And I enjoyed it because it allowed me to kind of like take a back seat into the process of the matchmaker finding me someone who is the perfect match. And so they were vetting that person, having interviews. And so that's how my matchmaker found Ryan, because she actually went and spoke to him, and then she put us on a date together. And that's how it all came together. And we've been dating ever since that first date.
How long ago was that when you guys first met?
November 27th, 2022.
Yes.
Who's counting?
Yes. But interesting enough, we did meet 10 years ago, maybe actually more than that now. At University of Michigan, I was on my way out my last semester, and Ryan was coming into U of M after
going to Morehouse for 3 years. So I was starting my 4th year in college, and starting my 4th year in college, doing nuclear engineering at University of Michigan. So she was at a NESB meeting. I was at a NESB meeting. That's the National Society of Black Engineers. So we, had crossed paths a little bit. But on that first date, I recognized a pretty face. I've seen this face before. So
Well, I don't know, Ms. Lauren. You don't strike me as being an engineer. You strike me as being an artist. So that's interesting.
Yes. I was thinking about doing engineering, but I quickly realized that was not the path for me, and I switched my major. But I still went to those NESB meetings because I knew I'd meet somebody there.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Well done. So the matchmaker thing so obviously you both went to a matchmaker. Did you go to the same matchmaker, and that's how that worked out?
So we both signed up for the same matchmaking company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or actually, the 2 that Lauren signed up with, I actually signed up with those as well. Yeah. So we had double the chance to meet, just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
But like I put myself in kind of like the dating pool. So like just being amongst the candidates of people that the matchmakers had access to. Mm-hmm. Lauren signed up for the actual package. She wanted somebody in her corner, actively looking for her, and I took the easy road.
that it's incredibly interesting to me. I don't want to spend too much time on this particular question, but you said you met 10 years ago or 10 years prior in Michigan on campus, and then you both moved back to Los Angeles, where you both then signed up ultimately for these 2 different matchmakers, and you found each other in LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, see, there's something else going on there. I like it. I like it. All right. Good stuff. Listen, I'm going to move on. Let's see the second one. What advice would you give to couples who are navigating the early stages of dating and considering taking the next step towards marriage? What advice would you give?
So my key advice is to really have your non-negotiables like down pat. At that time, I literally had a list of what my non-negotiables are, what the most important qualities I was looking for. I wrote those down, and I made sure that they were topics of conversation during the first 2-3 dates. Like you're trying to get to know someone, but you're also trying to flesh out if you're going to be a good match or not. You're not trying to waste anybody's time and all of that. So it's just good to be able to speak to what you're looking for and what you're not looking for. So having that very clear is super important, especially in the early stages.
Yeah, I definitely had a list as well. But some of those things, like you said, you have to have a non-negotiable, items that you're willing to be flexible on, and really just kind of enjoy the process. I know sometimes you can get a little like anxious, or you're so stuck on how it needs to be or how he needs to be. And you just kind of have to allow for flexibility as much as possible, because, just enjoy the journey.
Yeah, my goodness, you probably shouldn't have a coach doing this because there's so much that's interesting about those responses. The whole concept about what the non-negotiables are as opposed to the negotiables. And wait, I see Miss Latasha Ellis said those sites, you have to pay for those sites, right?
Yes, you
yeah,
do.
okay. So for the matchmakers, there's a fee associated with that. But in this particular instance, I guess it was well worth it, right?
Yes.
It pays off in the end for sure.
I see a question about what are those non-negotiables?
Yeah, see, well, I want to get back to that non-negotiable conversation because listen, it's one thing to say in some regard, I just know I don't want to be with a smoker. I just know I don't want to be, and so there are some very elemental things that you can easily delineate. But when you start to get into personalities and perspectives and propensities and posture and position, all those things are subjective to a degree that a non-negotiable seems to be fluid to most people, right? So it may be non-negotiable for that person, but if it was that person, I'd probably negotiate. Right? I mean, so there's some fluidity there. I just don't want people to walk away going, okay, I need to write 5 things on a sheet of paper and that's going to be it. Well, the certain foundational elemental things, absolutely. But the more subjective you get, the more dangerous that becomes because you end up, painting yourself into a corner that's unrealistic. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's really a difference between knowing what those key fundamental core values, the things that you absolutely cannot tolerate under any circumstances. If you're allergic to cats, don't go find yourself a cat person. You know what I mean? Like it's just
yeah. Exactly.
But was that on your list? Like, was pets because I remember I'm like, I prefer no pets, but if I had to break that, I was willing to do that for the right person. That was one of those things I was flexible on.
The cats?
The pets
or cats. I mean,
okay, all right, fair enough. All right, good deal. Listen, I have so many more questions, but we got to move. All right, how did you know your partner was the one you wanted to marry?
Ooh, I know people want to know that one. At the very beginning, I was resistant to Ryan. I was like, he's not my type. He's not my type. And I think that's the one thing I want to tell people is don't block your blessing, girl. Just and I should have known that he was my really good person to be with because our first date was so fluid and we both enjoyed really good food and we had fun and we were there for 4 hours, but I walked out of there saying, I'm gonna friend zone him.
You see how she tried to do me?
Hey, listen, you in good company, sir, because I wasn't my wife's type either. And 32 years later, right? So, apparently that wasn't a non-negotiable. Apparently, so anyway. There you go.
Yes.
Wait. Miss Aaron say, tell them what your friends told you.
They all were telling me to definitely let him show up in the way that I needed him to, or the way that I expected a man to. And he definitely did. I think the story I was told at my wedding, how he got me, is because he continued to ask me out. He said, I know you're going through this matchmaking process, but I'm going to continue to ask you out until you say no. And I was like, okay, I'll just enjoy his company. And he invited me to his birthday experience, and he reserved this hotel, and we got couples massage. And I kept thinking, is it my birthday? I feel like I'm getting treated like it's my birthday on his birthday. And so that's kind of when I was like, oh man, he's just such a kind, giving person and is very intentional and detailed when it comes to me and the things that I like. And so that kind of got me thinking oh, wow, this is the type of person I do desire, someone who is intuitive into like my needs and shows up for me in a way that continues to be assertive and wanting for me to be happy. Even though my happiness comes from within, and he's not really responsible for that, but his intentions.
Yeah. So because we've had so many heartfelt conversations, I feel like it's safe for me to make a clarification here. When you say, you know, you need to give him space to show up in the way that you expect a man to show up, it's absolutely critical that we delineate who he is from what he does, right? And part of the showing up has to be some indication, some way to ascertain who he is outside of what he does. One of the things I tell women, for any of you women out there listening who are considering potentially entering in some sort of relationship, my biggest advice and the strongest advice is that you watch how he treats people who can do nothing for him. Watch how he treats homeless, elderly. Watch how he treats wait staff. Watch how he treats all the people that surround and move through your life on a daily basis that it's easy to dismiss. Watch how he treats those people, because that's an indication of where his heart is, right? Yes. We can all say the right things. We've all studied you long enough to know how to say it, what to do. I can be romantic. I can go give massages. I can go do all of that. But I know in my knower that that's not exactly what it was that attracted you to him, that convinced you that, yeah, I'm gonna spend no time.
Yes, exactly. I think that's well said, because when we were talking about non-negotiables, like kindness was something that was on my list, and that shows up, like you just said, and how that person operates with anybody. And so, so witnessing how he showed up, not just for me, but from people surrounding us, and I think that's kind of what really kind of had me think like, okay, I should pay attention to this one.
Yeah, see, that's one of the values of, you know, they used to call it courting, you know, now, you know, dating, because you need enough runway, you need enough roadway to see this individual deal with various different situations. Because when you say how they show up is not a temporal thing. It is a thing that happens in perpetuity. Now, everyone's allowed to improve and grow, but you need to have some time to see how that individual is going to conduct themselves in various different situations. That's what it means to watch how someone shows up. That doesn't mean when they walk up to my door, whether they have roses or not, or whether they open in my door or not. It means that when I'm frustrated, how do they handle my heart? When I'm confused, when I'm angry, how do they respond? When they're angry, what's their posture? What's their intent? Is it harmful? Is it just simple frustration? And those are the cues that really establish how someone's going to show up. Now, it's a two-way street. Men have the same opportunity to see how a woman might show up, but that's why dating is so critical. And that's why you have to date with a purpose, to really try to understand who someone is. You guys are nodding your heads like you were dating with a purpose. Well, you were obviously paying people to help you.
You're right.
Did you already know,
you know?
Did you already know you wanted to be married?
Yes.
Well, yes. Marriage was definitely a goal for both of us.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you went to the matchmaker, both of you, with the intent to find someone worthy of marriage and move on with your lives.
Yes.
I wasn't trying to be on Tinder and Bumble forever. You know what I mean? Couldn't do it.
I'm so glad I'm old. I've never even heard of Bubble. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. But all right. We're going to keep moving. Oh, there's so much richness. All right. What were some key factors or qualities that you look for in a partner when you were dating? What was it? I'm going to start with you, Ryan. What did you tell the matchmaker? What qualities were you looking for?
For me, the top two are trust and communication skills. Trust obviously is one that builds over time, and we talked about this and like, what does trust actually mean? There's a lot you can kind of go into with that. But I think the most fundamental thing is communication skills, because for me, if you're not able to communicate your feelings, then I'm not sure. Then I'm moving around in the dark a little bit, of unsure how you're feeling, how I can maybe make it better, how I can comfort, how I can move around you and make the situation better. And it goes for the relationship dynamic as well, because if you're creating a hostile space, then I'm not going to be very forthcoming in terms of communicating, or it makes it less likely or just more difficult to do so. So really seeing how the communication dynamic impacts a relationship dynamic, such that it's open, it's supportive, it's compassionate and understanding. Like, those were the top things that I was absolutely looking for. There's people that I've definitely dated that have not been great communicators. I've also not been the best communicator. So it's one of those things that I've learned over time, like, oh yes, really got to harp on this particular point.
Sure.
And over time, just kind of see how that plays out, like you were just saying.
Trust and communication. How do you quantify trust when someone doesn't even know you yet?
Yeah, that one takes time. That's the only way. It's the only way to do it. Because I mean, ideally, and I think especially I'm gonna say for me, but I think it's also important for men. Like, you have to have that runway, like you were saying. Like, I need to, in my head, my flag post was like, all right, I need to be dating for a year. I need to see 365 days. I need to make sure all the holidays, all the birthdays, I want to see at least once.
Sure.
I can make an informed decision. I need that many data points. But you need that time together to really establish trust, to have trust challenged, to have trust rebuilt, to put yourself in some challenging situations by traveling and doing other things, so that you can really test the mettle.
Sure. So Ms. Lauren, I thank you for that clarification, sir. Ms. Lauren, you spoke to your matchmaker. What were your top qualities? What were you looking for?
Yes. So as I mentioned, kindness, but most importantly, someone who was emotionally intelligent, meaning being able to communicate and handle and deal with their emotions in a healthy way. So like someone, if there was a breakdown or something went wrong or there's a disagreement, that we can kind of handle it in a level-headed way, where people aren't just we're not shouting or saying things that are toxic to each other. So those were the things that I was looking for. And then also someone who was like really progressive and doing really, not necessarily big things, but up to something, like not just kind of going with the flow of life, but very intentional and having forward thinking goals, somewhat of an entrepreneurial kind of mindset. And so that was some of the things that was on my list. And I was telling her, like, this is what I want.
Sound like, did she ever give you something you didn't want? Because that sounded a little saucy.
South spouse.
Let's see. Well, I guess not really, because I got what I wanted.
All right.
I mean, but but see, CoachBo, she, one of the things that she was worried about for a long time was the ambition, the entrepreneurial side. Because obviously she wears a lot of hats. Sure. She's very entrepreneurial. She's ambitious. She wants someone that matches that energy, right? And so, I have a steady job and I know some things. So, but it's like, but is he bad about it? Yeah. She's gonna go to the next level. You know,
Okay.
she had to I think work through that, maybe see a couple of things, and I had to sort of be coached on some of those things.
Oh,
So that's how it is.
I think when it came down to it, it's this feeling of like, can he lead me? Like, am I going to be leading this relationship on my own, or is he going to kind of basically come to the forefront?
Sure.
And yes, as I mentioned, lead.
Yeah, we had lots of those conversations. I believe the conversation was, if I want to boil it down, is, man, that woman's tired.
Yes.
And you need to recognize that she's tired. The reason she's looking is because she's tired of leading. That's why she's looking. But anyway, we'll get back to this. All right, I got to get to a couple of these questions.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I got to get to a couple of these questions. How long have you been married? When did you get married?
March 17th.
Yes,
March 17th.
Almost 2 months.
Almost 2 months. Okay, very newlyweds. Good deal. And you spent like 9 of those weeks in Japan, right?
I wish it was 9 weeks.
Okay, all right. So the next question, I'm going to jump a couple. How did your relationship dynamic change after getting married, if at all? We're going to start Ms. Lauren on this one.
Okay, yes. So I would say our day-to-day hasn't changed very much, because we were testing the waters out. And if Ryan was saying like, oh, I want to live with that person, even though I said I didn't really want to live with somebody until we were really focused on getting married. But so our day-to-day kind of stays about the same. You know, we cook, we clean, we support each other, and whatever needs to be done on a daily and weekly basis. But I would say that what has changed a little bit is kind of a little bit more of this mindset of like, oh, we're really actually a unit. We move together. It's like, I move, you move, we flow, we make decisions together. Almost everything, even some of the smallest details, we have to kind of discuss before we make a decision on it. So if something needs to be bought, like when the mirror on one of the cars broke, and so I know we're like, okay, we got to discuss, like, how are we going to buy it? Like all the things that are required. And then also just for me, I just feel like, as I mentioned, like Ryan has literally stepped into this leadership role, and has allowed me to kind of like take a step back at leading. I mean, I still do it naturally because that's just my way of being, but
I believe the word is bossy, but
I'm not gonna deny that.
She's a boss.
Yes.
Yes. Most bosses are bossy, so that works in our advantage. Good deal. Now, I heard you say that you make your decisions together. These big decisions. How does that work in your dynamic? How do the two of you? How do you get to those good places with these decisions?
So usually, obviously, you know, there's different areas of life that we're concerned with. So I think we have our domains that we are generally taking the lead on. So if it's something, you know, more so regarding like dinner, what are we eating? What are we going to the grocery store and getting? What are we going out to eat tonight? Or, you know, what's the plan there? Then Lauren might already have like a good idea of like what you might want to make, and you know, then she's like, okay, like, does this sound good to you? And does that
time out. Now I'm talking. If that's your biggest decision to date, I'm jealous.
No. Okay, let's talk about the monies, because the money is where it is.
Yeah.
So the way that I think we approach it is like, so finances is usually my territory. I got the spreadsheets and all that stuff. So I say, this is the situation. This is my proposed plan of how to handle it. Lauren, what do you think? What is your input? These are the factors I was considering. What do you think? And then it's a back and forth and making sure that we both are heard, and that those valid points are definitely held up. And then there's changes probably to the plan in terms of, okay, yes, we'll buy this today, or we can wait a week and buy it later, or we can, put this on the credit card and then we'll pay it off a little bit over time, whatever it might be. So we come up with a plan that addresses both of our needs and then can move forward.
Ooh, that sounds exhausting. Oh gosh.
I mean,
that's the relationship.
That's marriage. Yeah.
I can't just go do it. I can't do that.
Well, what's the point of being married if you just go do that?
Fair enough. Fair point. I'm gonna keep it moving. I like it. Let's see here.
And yeah, I would say that's where it comes to being a unit, right? It just you have to make moves together. There's no more I'm doing this, what you doing,
Right. You come if you want. All right. Listen, the next question, and this is a good one. It says, what are some practical tips for maintaining a strong and healthy relationship during the difficult transition from being single people to now being married? How did you navigate that? What tips would you have for people?
You want to start?
Okay.
She's biting at the chance. Okay.
I'll just say, I always just ask questions. And Ryan will know whenever I don't understand what he's doing and I need to understand more or how he does something. I just ask questions, but not from a judgmental way. Very diplomatic.
Seeking to understand. Yeah.
Okay. So that's the tip.
At least mine.
So your tip to other couples who are trying to navigate, some of this treacherous water, things come up, and often people just throw up their hands and they just move on. But you're saying that, listen, it's not just what you do, but it's how you do it. And so part of your recommendation here was not just the fact that you asked questions, but you were very particular about talking about a posture for asking that question, non-judgmental. So what part of that is your strongest recommendation? Ask questions or to figure out how to ask them in a non-judgmental way?
I would say the latter of the two.
Okay. All right. So does she do a good job of that, Ryan?
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
So
right.
It's, yeah. And I think you also have to, I think at a certain point, you also have to trust that your partner is coming from that place. You have to accept that they're coming from that place. Something in the back of the brain, your previous life, your previous relationships, something, could tell you that why is she always questioning me? What's going on? But you have to take that and change that into, oh, did I not communicate that clearly? Was there something missing in my communication where she missed something? Because I know she's not judging me. She's not trying to undermine me. She's trying to understand. So It's got to be something that I was missing in my communication.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. I'm going to move on. Did you give us any tips, Ryan? You didn't give us any tips. You just talked about her.
Yeah.
Tips.
I'm gonna take one from your book, CoachBo, which is really making it a point to check in and check in such a way that gets to the deeper issues or deeper emotional state of what's going on. So, of course, not just saying, "Oh, I'm good. How are you?" And kind of talking surface level or talking around, but being in tune with what your partner might be feeling. If you sense something, then asking about it. But even just on a regular basis, asking, how are you feeling about any given situation? How are you feeling about your job search? How are you feeling about the wedding planning? Is it too much? Is it too little? I noticed, you were kind of, this is something I do. I'll bounce my leg when I get a little bit nervous. So, Lauren will kind of be like, hey, are you okay? Is everything okay? She knows that
Yeah.
that's like a sign for me. So she'll just do a quick little check-in, and if something's up, then that's my opportunity to bring it up. And
So I it's a valuable idea. I want you to put some more meat on the bone around a check-in.
yeah.
What do you mean by that, and what does that look like in your relationship?
So I think when two people are in a relationship, especially when they're living together and they're doing day-to-day things together, it can be very easy to assume that, oh, the person that's next to me that's going through most of her day in a similar fashion to me, she's in the same mindset as me. Like, so I'm feeling okay. She must be feeling okay. And you can just easily take it for granted how the other person might be doing. And so you have to put that aside. And even if things seem fine, just making it a part of a habit to ask, how are you doing? And you have this great exercise with soul words that are basically, it's anything besides okay and good. It's Are you cheerful? Are you anxious? It's really getting to a deeper emotional state and having that person describe what they mean by that. So doing that practice and doing it regularly keeps you connected. And it also gives the other person the opportunity to lean into sharing, and that opens up intimacy, bringing you guys closer together.
All right. Listen, man, we're at 9. Well, for me, it's like we've been 9:54. I don't know how long we staying on. So I'm gonna jump to this next section of questions. And this is really weird. Did you guys print these questions out? Do you have them handy? No.
They're on our phones.
That's a shame. All right. I don't want to read these questions.
Just go off the dome.
Yeah.
All right. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced as a couple, and how did the coaching sessions help you to overcome them? See, I'm not supposed to be here to hear this. That's not how this is supposed to work. That's okay. All right.
I'll let Ryan go for it.
Well, I think we'll go back to what we talked about before in terms of leadership. Leadership, integrity, honesty, vulnerability. That's a lot, but I think one of the most important things for me to learn from you through coaching, through having one-on-one sessions, was the difference between the distinction of being vulnerable and being confident. I think a lot of times the natural conception is being vulnerable is something where you're at your weakest point, and it's easy to come off very, you're stumbling, you're unsure, you don't know how to move forward. You're vulnerable because you don't know what to do. But that doesn't mean you can't be confident in that vulnerability. There's something that you don't know, and you can confidently say that you don't know it, and you can bring that to your partner. And especially, picking the right partner and having them show up for you in the right way would mean that they'll be there to support you, and you can handle whatever that vulnerability is as a team together. So that's something I really had to learn. That was a big challenge for me. I can be very, I definitely, was not always in the leadership position. I was very much, I could stand back and just kind of, oh yeah, things are chill. I can just see how it turns out. But
so let me ask you this. You mentioned this confidence, even while you're vulnerable, as being something of value.
100%.
As that was something you needed to learn. Why 100%. Is that valuable? Why was it valuable to you?
If you can't be vulnerable with your partner, then who are you going to be vulnerable with? Vulnerability is such a key aspect of intimacy, and intimacy is what marriage is. You should be, this is the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. You have to be close, emotionally close. And that requires opening up about the parts where you're weakest.
Well, no. It's the confidence part I'm trying to double click on.
Oh, okay.
Why was it important for you to be confident in your vulnerability?
I see. Yes. It's important because it just, I think it strikes the right tone. It's a way of communicating that you know yourself well enough, and you also know your partner and have respect for your relationship enough that you can bring them something vulnerable, but in a way that is positive. It's optimistic. It's self-assured. Mm-hmm. That's something that.
Why is that important, Ryan? Why is it important to show up self-assured, even when you don't know what to do? Why is that important? Good answer. I can tell you.
Yeah.
I can tell you too. But I'm like,
oh, you can? Well, please, Miss Lauren, tell us.
Well, from a female's point of view, like a confident male makes me feel that that he's responsible for how he shows up. So if, like he said, if he's confident in himself, I know he's not going to unwaver or waver and do something that was out of integrity with what we agreed upon, or he goes out and he makes a decision. Was unconfident. I'm like, but I don't understand. Like, for me, I'm just saying the confidence shows me that he knows how to kind of uphold himself within a unit of in terms of our relationship.
Yeah. Well, listen, if there are any young men out there, I do want to underscore this. The conversation here is, even when I don't know, even when I might be confused, even when I might be feeling a bit defeated and deflated, there's a way that I can show up that comforts my wife, and there's a way I can show up that is very unsettling. At the end of the day, this faith-based relationship dynamic between a man and a woman wants peace, stability, security, comfort, compassion, all those things. But the foundational elements, if she can't be secure, if she can't let her guard down and trust that you've got it, if you come in here a mess falling all over the place, I can't. I get it. I understand. I hate you feel that way. But now I'm thinking in my mind, I got to man up. So it's important not that we be phony, but that we be comfortable with being vulnerable. Because what makes us less than confident is the fact that we're not even really comfortable doing this. I don't know how to do this. I feel like crying. Should I cry? Is that going to make me look weak? I feel like, and so you've got to embrace your own vulnerability. I don't sell other people's books, but Brene Brown, Dare to Lead, critical information if you want to be the kind of leader in a family that not only leads us and guides us, but also protects us and secures us and creates a solid foundation. Yeah, that's absolutely critical on both sides. Well done.
Nightstand, right?
Yeah.
The book.
Yeah. What's that?
It's on his nightstand.
Still got to read it, but yeah.
So I've made that recommendation before, have I? Excellent. I'm not as old as I thought I was. Listen, I'm trying to get to, let's see what we have here. Were there any specific tools or techniques recommended by the coach that significantly impacted your relationship dynamics?
Definitely the soul words and the check-ins. we use those, even though sometimes we may forget to use them. We may use them in a different way, but we do. I think that technique of asking, how are you feeling about this particular subject? What are those words that describe it? Really do help us break down, for me, sometimes parsing through what I'm really feeling, because sometimes I don't know the word and I'll just create a little sequence of phrases to describe it and then explain it.
Sure.
And so I really appreciate that tool. It's very helpful.
Excellent. Excellent. Anything else? Any other tools? Anything stuff you can remember? I know y'all don't really pay attention, so I'm putting you on the spot.
I think the idea of this and the execution of it are still a little bit wonky for me, but gotta have a budget. That forward planning budget, boy. that is for financial conversations. I mean, you're married, you're gonna have a lot of these talks. So being able to project into the future what the financial situation will be, and that way it's transparent. You can have a conversation about it. It's not one partner versus the other in terms of the money. It's us two versus what's on the spreadsheet.
Okay. All right. So listen, how does a relationship coach help you with your budget? That seems weird.
most couples fight about money.
Yes, they do.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a big triangle. It's a triangle.
So how did your coach help you?
Well, I remember there was this exercise that you had us do where you told us to talk to married people who we thought were, I guess, role models in terms of marriage, and ask them how they handled their finances. And that was probably so helpful because it helped us realize, like, okay, they do it this way. Oh, I like how they do that. That works for us. Oh, maybe not so much this, but it gave us a framework for how to discuss and manage our finances. And I think that was probably, would you say that was like the best excerpt? One of the, not the best, but I think that was one of the most valuable.
Okay, if it is. It's quite all right. Quite all right. Listen, I saw someone had I think this goes right in line. It says, what's your 5-year plan?
Oh, okay.
What's that?
Was it financial plan or just?
This question came way back before we started talking about finances. So
okay.
I doubt it was about finances.
I'm sure that somebody wanted to know if there's a baby coming, because that's the question that people always ask.
That's the question? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what the question is.
All right.
But it's one of those things where, it's a milestone. We got to put it in there.
Okay.
So I would say in the next year, it's there's some baby plans that are preparation based. So in the next year or so, kind of preparing for that. Moving into a bigger place because we've got a 2-bedroom right now, and if we want to add a third human, we need some more space. So we're shooting for that. As far as like career goals and things, we have some milestones in terms of what Lauren wants to do at Tickleberry Place, where I want to be with some entrepreneurial endeavors. We want to have some more digital products that are out there for people to be able to purchase and click on and take, the knowledge that we have and help people for travel to Japan or planning a wedding, whatever it might be. So, really making ourselves, setting up our finances in such a way where we can have a lot more varied streams of income and passive income so that we can afford to spend more time with the family that we're out to create.
Right.
Financial freedom.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Now listen, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you. Remember all that stuff you were talking about? How you gotta ask the questions, but you gotta figure out a way to do it that's non-threatening, non-accusatory, and you guys have this kind of melodic rhythm now that does not seem to transpire with a whole lot of urgency. So you have time to think about things and to figure out the right way to say them. All that crap goes out the window when you have kids. Because we just don't have the time, the patience. This little snotty-nosed rascal been running me crazy all day. I just got home from work, and now I got to listen to all of this, and you trying to ask me what? I ain't got time for that. I'm trying. So listen, you need to prepare yourselves if that's a part of your plan. You need to consider that new dynamic, and you're going to actually have to learn a couple of new tools as well.
Yeah.
Because that's if the two of you are 2-month-old husband and wife, if your marriage is 2 months old, you need to consider that second baby in the context of the current one.
Yeah.
So do I want a 10-month-old and a 1-month-old? Do I want, because your marriage, it's you got to tend to it. It's needy like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be considered. Helpless at the moment. You've got to give it extra attention. One of the most dangerous things people do is throw baby in the mix, and then the marriage goes out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we just need to be cognizant of that. I think you're both well-adjusted and mature people. I think, you can get on the right track there, but don't let that catch you off guard. All that lovey-dovey, wonderful communication stuff. She gonna get really bossy. And my man there, and I'm praying this is not the case, but it is his tendency to become more passive the more bossy you become, which means you get even more bossy and he gets even more passive, and we keep going. I can't let that happen. We can't let that go down like that. We're gonna have to fight that. Okay. All right. Off my soapbox there. Let me see here. Let's see. How did the coaching sessions impact your decision to move forward with the marriage? Wait a minute. Had you already decided you wanted to be married when you sought out coaching?
No. Or
it's very definitive. I think it was a step to move forward into marriage, or at least for us.
Yeah, definitely a stepping stone, because obviously, our intention was always to get married. We were going through the process of making sure that we wanted to get married to each other. And so coaching, especially with the move-in together, was a part of that process.
Yeah. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, but apparently I have been frozen in time.
Yeah.
I look like a politician that's lying about something. So I don't know what's going on with that. Don't really care. I'm gonna keep it moving. All right. So
there you go.
I'm curious though, how did you end up with your coach? How did that process go?
Oh, my friend Sarah. She told us how amazing you were. And so I said, okay. So I got your contact info and called you. And I felt immediately like, oh yeah, this is it. And Ryan and I did our first call with you, kind of intro, and we both really loved you. And we're like, okay, we'll stick with this.
So apparently, hold on. Apparently, Ms. Lauren, you have not noticed I am talking about your coach in third person. And you keep slipping me back into the middle of the conversation. So we're going to talk about your coach as if it's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, all right. But it's weird asking these questions if I feel like I'm asking, so what did you like about me? That's creepy, man. Nobody want to do that. All right. So listen. Let me see. How did you... shout out Dr. Sarah Fontenot.
Yes.
The one and only incredible sister of mine who has done quite a bit to get my name off of the East Coast and onto the West Coast, and I'm very appreciative. All right, let's see. What advice would you give to other couples who are considering seeking relationship coaching but are really on the fence?
Get off the fence.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, please, sir.
I think obviously people have like different considerations, and the idea of relationship coaching, I don't know, might have a certain feeling for guys. At least I know, like, just sometimes the idea of therapy and things of that nature tend to be triggering as like, oh, this is something where like the coach or the therapist is going to gang up on me for something I did wrong. And I think, I think that's not, it's not how it actually works. It's not how it actually occurs. If you have an experience like that, then you can run, like you're not trapped. So I just think that one, just kind of reducing the stigma of how that, in the popular conception of how that might happen, is important. But I mean, I would just consider, like, for your finances, for your education, for anything that's important in your life, and that you tried really hard at, like sports. I mean, you've needed a outside perspective to tell you, here's with my, with their great experience, here's what I know, here's what can apply to you, here are some areas of weakness that you have, here are some of your strengths, here's how we can build that up. So just having a third person be able to come in and work through some of those things with you works in every other case. Why would it not work in a relationship sense?
Ms. Lauren, you seem to be chomping at the bit to chime in there a little earlier. What you got for us?
Oh, I just say get off the fence.
Get off the fence. Okay. All right.
Yes. I mean,
so listen, you have to understand, though, that the two of you are aliens, because the average couple is not paying for matchmakers.
Right.
They going to the gym, they going to the club, they going to church, they going wherever they go, and they just meet somebody there. So there's a lot of people who won't really appreciate why you paid for a matchmaker. And further, you guys are aliens because most people don't really get coaching for their relationship. Most folks, when they want to do some premarital kind of stuff, it's typically because they're in a church or they're a part of some sort of faith-based community where that is a strong recommendation, and they kind of go through those motions. None of that stuff is created equal. It's all individualized, and some of it's worth the effort, some of it's not. But you paid for coaching, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The average couple, I don't see them wanting to do that. Was the value actually there? Did you feel like at any point you might be wasting your money?
No.
Never.
I mean, the reality is, just like with any service, you can go out and, purchase someone's time, someone's service, and you could get a not great experience, or you could find, a great experience. And so you don't just want to pay some fool off the street to do it. You want to.
That's what you did.
No, because we got a recommendation from somebody.
Oh, okay, right. Fair enough.
Yes.
Whoever that person may be, some fool in Atlanta, I don't know. But you really I mean, you take that risk regardless of anything that you do. But the only way that you kind of can see, the only way to find your blind spots is to have somebody else looking for them. So it's just one of those things where if you are dedicated to the relationship, if you're serious about getting married, you want to make sure that you check under every rock and you check all the boxes and you have all of the difficult and important conversations that you need to have. And just one way to guarantee, to try to guarantee that that's more likely to be the case, is to have a coach, a third person that's able to really guide you in the right direction. So
the $1 million question here, though, is how would your relationship be different if you didn't have a coach? How would...
I think we would be struggling a little bit more than what we are now. I think now we have this really good flow. We have this really good solid foundation. And I think while we were both like intentional and emotionally intelligent and knew how to communicate on a basic level as single people, we didn't understand the distinction between like operating that way as a married couple. It's a whole different ball game. And I don't think a lot of people truly are equipped with the tools or even the knowledge on how to do that. And honestly, to tell you the truth, like we're in this information age. Like previously, we didn't really learn so much from our ancestors until now that everyone's open and vulnerable and sharing about things that happen in their marriage so that they can teach other people. I think that's really helpful now. But I think we wouldn't have been able, I mean, yes, we probably would have gone this far, but I think we would have been a little bit rickety.
I agree with that. Having the solid foundation, and then just to double click, as a friend of mine would like to say, to double click on a point. I think that just, when two emotionally intelligent people come together, you figure, oh yeah, it'll be easy breezy. I find the right person, it'll be easy breezy. But yeah, the level of integrity that you need to have when you're becoming a unit is definitely different. Like having just been boyfriend, girlfriend, you still have a back door out. You can always break up. You can always find a way out. Like it's not permanent. It's not committed. And so when you have, and without a coach to kind of move you along that path and get you in the habit of using the tools, the mindset, the techniques more so of what married people do, or successful married people, I should say, do, successful and happy married people do,
right?
Then you kind of fall back to maybe your default of being closed off or whatever your tendency could be. So it's required for growth.
Yeah, just some more. Ryan said, like, I learned more about myself in the coaching than I did, like some of the things that were triggers or just things that I wasn't even aware of that were in my past that were showing up for me in my current state. And so having those acknowledged and working through those allow me to put them to the side and figure out how to navigate life as in this relationship.
So a good coach, if he's doing the right thing, you want him at your wedding.
Yes.
Because you wouldn't be there without him.
Right, exactly.
Whoever he is.
Wherever that guy happens to be.
Right.
Man, listen, that's pretty awesome. I had something really smart to say, and you just threw me off with that. So now I have to think of something else to say. I don't know why they keep freezing me up. I look like Joe Biden now. You saw that forehead? Did you see all that? But anyway, all right. So how long were you guys in coaching?
In coaching?
Yeah, in this relationship coaching. How long?
Actually, we started probably almost a year ago.
Last May.
Last May when we moved into our place. So a year.
Okay. So a year. And how does someone you've never met before know you well enough to help you navigate and discover things about yourself you didn't know? You've been living with yourself your whole life. How does that process work?
Well, they're a really talented person, that's for sure.
They're emotionally intelligent and insightful.
Yes.
That's something you have to look out for.
Okay, you guys went the wrong way on that. We're gonna keep it moving. That's
what?
Yeah, that's embarrassing. I asked the wrong question. Okay. Let me see here. How did you first hear was Coach Stetson?
Still on.
No, good question.
What was the question?
Who's still on? Who's still listening? Are there any,
Man, just answer the question. It's gonna be recorded.
Okay.
Answer the people question. What was the question?
Oh, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at the phone trying to see.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you saw one. All right.
Questions, yeah.
So listen, what is coaching like? I mean, if I think about coaching, you get on the phone with somebody, everybody watches. Is it like the psychiatrist where they just sit there and let you talk? Is it what? So how is that different? I mean, you guys, do either one of you have a therapist?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. But
Well, why do you need both? How is coaching different from therapy?
Do you want to go?
Nope. You.
Okay.
I ain't touching that one. That's on you.
I would coach. Let's see. I would say therapy is a lot more passive and self-discovery, self-driven. So yeah, you're talking by talking to, someone who's kind of just reflecting things back at you. Then the idea is, okay, yeah, you'll come up with something yourself and find new actions to take, new openings for action, which, definitely got me to a decent place. I think coaching though was more insightful. It illuminated, like I said, some blind spots, pitfalls. It's just more active and engaged of a process. There are activities, there's homework that they can give you. So it's a little bit more active, just helping you along the path, really pushing you along. So
Yeah,
that's what I would say.
I would say the same. A traditional therapy for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's definitely more passive.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help people get a better feeling for what the process might be like. So now you're across the finish line. You scored a touchdown, home run, whatever you want to call it. March 17th, we done.
Or are we?
Are we?
Or
No.
are we?
Yeah, I'm asking. That seems like a finish line. A lot of people, they've been aiming at that day their entire lives, and once they hit it, they won. Have you won yet?
Begins.
Tell them, baby. You tell them.
That's when the work really begins.
What kind of work? How is it different?
It's because you have two individual people now coming together, trying to move as one unit when they are uniquely different. So there's likely something is going to happen that will be disruptive in this flow. So you're going to need someone to guide you, or at least the tools to be able to address those breakdowns or the tension or the misalignments is what we call them too.
Yeah.
Especially from a kind of neutral ground point, because this person's like really emotional about it. And then he's like, but this was my side. And like, so no, we can't have that. So, and like you said, like when you introduce children, if married people, they most of the time do have children. And so once that happens, you have to be prepared.
That's a new ball game right there too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it sounds like you plan on continuing coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
As we grow into the marriage, as we plan for family, increasing our family, as we hit and overcome like financial milestones, like all having check-ins, guidance. It doesn't stop at putting a ring on each other's finger and saying the vows. It is a garden that continues to need to be watered Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's a good one.
So
Pulling
pruning some.
weeds out,
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Pulling weeds out and pruning.
plant
Exactly.
the right seeds, all of that good stuff. Very good,
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
good. Very good analogy. Listen, I know we're like an hour and 20 minutes. What question were you expecting to be asked that was not asked?
I don't even know how to answer
I
that.
don't know. I wasn't
No?
expecting any question.
Well, I mean, while you were imagining this thing happening, I know you thought one of your people was just gonna come on out and ask, when is the baby due? But they found a roundabout way to do that.
Yes.
Was there any other question you thought might come up?
I'm not sure, but I know. Well, your mom was on. She was like, "What are those non-negotiables?"
Oh,
I saw
yeah,
I saw that question in there.
Oh, so
yeah, I
you
guess it
definitely avoided that, huh?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, do I still have that list?" And I do. So I was like,
It's very long. I can see it.
yeah.
Oh my goodness! And you still
Well,
have
That
it?
whole essay.
no long distance, age got to be in the same range. Religion was a thing. You got to make sure you're aligned on that. Kids, I didn't want, my partner to already have kids. Smoking was on there for me. So yeah, it was, some non-negotiables that I tried before, can't get around.
Yeah.
Didn't want to deal with it.
Yeah. All right. I'm sure mom's gonna want to see that list. She did ask, and now that she knows you have it, you might want to see that. Listen, thank you so kindly for your time. I can't even give you any time back. We're at an hour and 22 minutes.
It's okay. We enjoyed it. It was very, very fun.
Oh, well, good deal. Now, is there anything you wanted to accomplish on the call? You wanted to help people. You wanted to empower them, talk about your journey and be a model potentially, or role models for other couples that are out there. Anything else you'd like to tell them? You know how we do. Silence is fine. I'm not going to let y'all.
Yeah, I feel like we've shared the most important thing, really the value of what Ryan said, like having a coach just to guide you on things that you are doing, what like you would do in life with sports, or even in education, or in career. A lot of people have mentors or something. If you're up to something big, like if you want to be successful, you have a coach. If you don't really care about how things turn out, then don't hire a coach or get guidance on it. It's just, I think that's simple.
I think
I can't depend on you. Just stop. I cannot depend on the two of you. You sound like you selling coaching, and we're not selling coaching. We're trying to help some people who they want what you have, not really sure how to get there, thought they might tune in and listen to the two of you to see if how far they might be off base or how close they might be. And these folks, they don't need you to sell them coaching. They need you to really kind of express what it did for you. Because that's the part they're not clear about it. Yeah, people get premarital coaching. Get everybody saying that. But what is it at the end of the day for you? What is the selling point if you were a new couple right now and you know what you know? What would be the primary selling point? Why would you even go into coaching knowing what you know now?
I was gonna say, I just really think that you grow the most when you engage with other people. And by engage, I mean you let them into your life in such a way where there are challenges and it forces you to grow. So when you're by yourself, you can, read books and learn and kind of take knowledge in and try to apply it. When you work with someone else, when you get into a relationship with someone else, that pushes you in different ways and challenges you in different ways, to think beyond yourself, to include that other person, to consider how your actions affect someone outside yourself that you care about. And then when you expand that to 3 people, the third person being a coach, I would say that the growth accelerates even further, because now you've got 2 people that are invested in this life project called marriage, and you've got a third person that's there looking at your back, making sure that that you're covered as much as possible. And so opening yourself up to it, to those challenges, is ultimately what's going to give you the growth to get to where you want to be. Because I'm not the same person that I was before starting coaching. I'm not the same person that I was before meeting and dating Lauren. So that only happened through the interactions that I had with her, with our coach. And, you know, when you add more kids into it, you're going to, you know, it's going to grow. I'm going to grow even further. So, yes, seek out other people to help you grow. That's.
Just as Ryan was talking, it helped me realize emotionally kind of how things have shifted for me since we've been on this journey together. And I realized that I think what's different for me since we actually have been working with a coach was that I love my husband a lot more deeply than I ever thought I would before. Because now I can like truly see who he is. I can break through all those things that are getting in the way of me having more vulnerable, deep conversations. And then also just seeing his growth. Like he's not the person that I was thinking he was. He's the person that he truly is. So I think about that often. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know who I would be or how I would love him. And I feel like my love for him has expanded so much more.
I'm not going to cry.
I know, right? She's getting me too.
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I cried too much. You know, I cry when babies fart. All right.
I'm trying not to cry.
See. All right. Check this out. This is my last question. I promise. You mentioned that the 2 of you decided to be together, and then you brought in a third person, a coach. You had criteria, non-negotiables for your wife. What was the criteria, non-negotiables for your coach?
Ooh, that's a good question. I was not expecting to be asked that one. For me, I definitely, because I have like a spiritual foundation, I'm spiritual. So I just wanted someone that also had that level of relatability. Like I know like spirituality isn't necessarily needed for communication and relationship coaching, but I just felt that that was something I operate spiritually and pretty much on a daily basis. And so that was kind of something I realized that it was important to me, or what I was seeking.
Okay.
And I was at the same time, like for me as a person that is more empirical than spiritual, having someone that I could really tell is driving at getting results. Like they have a process, they have techniques, they have a program, they have some reliable method to get you to where you want to go. Our coach asked us where we wanted to go, and I would say aligned his sessions to be able to meet that goal, and constantly checked in. And so good to have that same spirit, have the same spiritual foundation, so that you can speak the same language, and someone that can plan it out and get you to where you need to go, and demonstrates that week after week.
Wow, pretty cool. I'd like to meet this dude.
Yeah. He's out there somewhere. We can give you his number.
Yeah. Out there somewhere. I'm sure. Out there somewhere, I'm sure.
You might see him sooner than us in the mirror, perhaps, but
Man, I created. Whatever. Who knows? See that? There they go. Now look at that. Look at the bottom. See the banner? Look at that.
Cool. There's a banner.
Isn't that cool? Look at that. That's how you get in touch with my people. You want to reach out to them directly. Now tell us more about Tickleberry. How can people find out more about Tickleberry Place?
Oh, they could just tap on my profile or follow me, and then you'll see Tickleberry stuff on my bio. Tickleberry Place is on Instagram, TikTok, tickleberryplace.com, everywhere.
You got something coming out?
Oh, I have a children's book releasing in a couple months. So,
nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All right. And the children's book is health and wellness. What's?
It's focused on teaching. At least this book specifically is teaching kids about patience and using a technique that are applicable for a preschool age child to use, like playing the game of patience.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Now listen, my daughter joined. She had Bible study, so she joined very late. She's going to be angry if I don't ask somebody to sign up for something. So I think that was the whole point of this from her perspective. So I'm going to down there at the bottom. All you have to do is head over to faithfulness.com. Right now it's just a landing page. You put your email address in there and we'll keep you up to date on a lot of the stuff I have in the works. I have course materials. I have workshops. I have webinars and blah, blah, blah. And if you're interested and want to stay connected, please just go over to faithfulness.com and put in your email address, and that's what we'll do. We'll get back to you.
Alrighty.
All right. Listen, thank you so much, you incredible people. Mr. and Mrs. Leon. Oh, I didn't ask you. What made you change your name? That's a big deal nowadays.
I know. It is. It is a big deal because people always want to know why.
Yeah.
I just felt that
she's not ashamed of me. So she
I've created a name as Lauren McElroy independently. I just felt like the distinction of becoming a married to Ryan was changing my name was that step, like showing like true commitment and us being the Leons or as Ryan likes to say. So
depends on how Creole I want to be on a particular day.
Yeah, it might go as far as Leon.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, sometimes I do the full French, Leon.
Anyway, all right, good deal. So okay, excellent. Thank you so kindly for that. It is such a big deal. I did want to give you the opportunity to articulate what your choice was. At the end of the day, it is a choice, but I think what you said goes a long way. I mean, if this is what we're doing, keeping one foot out the door doesn't really help us in the long run, right?
That's
we
right.
need to be committed, and whatever that looks like for any couple that's out there. But that name thing is a big deal, right? So just think about that in the context of your own relationship. Make sure you discuss it, and you know that beforehand. I've seen a couple fall out at the last minute because there was an expectation that was unmet, right? So we don't want any of that. Listen, thank you so kindly. I'm certain this probably won't be our last conversation. I don't know what else my daughter might have planned. I know you guys got a lot of things going on. And so listen, hey, we'll do it again if you feel like it's going to be of value. But I just want to thank you so very much. Because most of the people I coach, I don't name them. Most of the people I coach, I don't, so the fact that you offered up a public conversation is a tremendous blessing. Thank you so kindly, family. Godspeed on this marriage thing.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you guys have a coach or somebody you can work with. That's a good thing to have.
Yes, absolutely. All right.
good
Thanks,
people.
Coach Bro. Appreciate you.
All right. You guys take care.
Bye.
All right.
Bye-bye.